We are honored to be joined by Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator Paul, welcome to Houston's Morning News. Thanks for taking the time.
Good to be with you.
Good to be with you as well. Let me ask you this. Ames straw poll. Your dad comes in second, a very close second to Michelle Bachmann. And as I'm watching all of the pundits speaking, I'm listening to everything, and they're talking about Tier 1 candidates. They talk about Romney, Bachmann, and Perry. Where is your dad in there? I mean, he did come in second in the straw poll, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense, does it? The straw poll was important enough that Tim Pawlenty actually dropped out, and yet they didn't seem to pay a lot of attention to the fact that Ron Paul really got about the same vote as Michelle Bachmann.
And let me ask you this, Rand. Do you think that it's possible that when your dad that Thursday night, last Thursday night, talked about his position on Iran and nuclear weapons in the Middle East, do you feel that hurt him at all? I mean, I know how passionate he is about that, and he's a guy that doesn't move off of his beliefs in any way. But do you feel that played well with the American public?
Well, I think in Iowa, the straw poll is about getting your supporters out, and so I don't think it changed the results of the straw poll at all. I still think that a lot of people don't quite understand his position. You know, I think his position is that the folks over there, the mullahs in Iran, do dislike America, and obviously by actions and words, right, and that it's not a good idea for them to have a nuclear weapon. But I think the point he's trying to make is that should they get a nuclear weapon, perhaps we would treat them like we did the Soviet Union, which were our mortal enemies who actually could have attacked us. We would try to contain them rather than invade them.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is joining us here this morning. And, Senator, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to hang on because I've got to ask you about what's going on here in the state of Texas and certainly across the country as our governor, Rick Perry, has thrown his hat into the ring, his cowboy hat, for President of the United States. You're a guy that is closely associated and aligned with the Tea Party, and I want to get your thoughts on the Tea Party and Governor Perry and the targets on both of their backs here in just a second. Senator, I'm going to play something for you and then get your reaction to it.
I think he definitely should be president because that's the only way we're going to get him out of Texas. He's such a hypocrite. You know, no gambling in this state. It's corrupt, but we can have lottery, we can have horse races, we can have dog races.
Senator, you know, I don't know if you know Governor Perry well or not, but just from where you stand, a lot of folks in Texas this morning have been calling in. They have some issues with the governor. Your thoughts, you know, it being, you know, so closely aligned with the Tea Party, and the governor is certainly here in the state of Texas, aligning himself with the Tea Party as well. Do you see Governor Perry being able to withstand the scrutiny?
Well, you know, I think he'll have to explain some interesting things to the Tea Party, like, you know, why he was the chairman of the Al Gore campaign in Texas in 1988. That doesn't seem quite consistent with what a lot of us in the Tea Party believe. So I think there are some inconsistencies out there. I think Texas has done well economically, and I think that argues in his favor. But there have been a lot of things. He's been governor for a long time that conservatives have been unhappy with. I think forcing middle school children to take vaccines, things like that, didn't go over very well with a lot of the conservative and religious right.
And do you think that America is ready for another president from Texas, whether it's Rick Perry or whether it's your dad?
You know, I was born in Texas, so I can't say anything bad about Texas. So, no, I don't think people figure it that way necessarily. I think, you know, there are other instances like they may not have been ready immediately for another member of the Bush family after, you know, many years of a Bush presidency. But I think being from Texas isn't necessarily bad, and I think Texas has some arguments to make that you're creating a lot of jobs, you're gaining 4 new congressmen, people are moving to Texas for a reason, and I think not having a state income tax is something the rest of our states could learn something from.
No question about it. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul joining us here this morning. Senator Paul, thank you for your time. Look forward to talking with you again. And say hi to your dad for us as well.
Will do. Thank you.